Yes, sir. Welcome back to Poetry and Police. They're on the hustling, but sometimes things just cross my mind and I have to think about what is going on in Jamaica right now and how the police officers in Jamaica are being treated. And the citizenry of Jamaica too. Because you don't know, without the citizens of Jamaica, there could be no Jamaica. People have to pay their taxes and such forth. So they deserve the right to be protected 100%. Alright, so the chairman of the federation has been tearing out his throat for the past couple of weeks. From all media houses, new to speeches, and still the government and the commissioner of police are still not reacting to whatever the chairman of the police federation is saying. They are not even reacting to the cries of the families of murder victims in Jamaica, victims of rape, child abuse, and all the various crimes that are happening in Jamaica. Our leaders are not responding, so it would appear as if we are left now to take matters in our own hands, or to take back Jamaica and try, between the police and the citizens of Jamaica, to try and get Jamaica back, at least Jamaica's murder rate, to some place where we can say, if no murder is acceptable, no murder is acceptable, but at a rate where we can say at least we are seeing some changes. Because we have to remember that the book says, and our law is from English laws, the book says murder is a non-preventable crime. And maybe a whole lot of civilians don't know that. But murder is a non-preventable crime. Meaning, if John decides to kill Tom at, say, 10 p.m. tonight, and the police is there on foot to prevent him from killing Tom at that time, that only slope the time that man get murdered, Because the police cannot stay all day, all night, one place. So as soon as the police move, boom, there goes a murder. So yes, murder is kind of, I would say, non-preventable in a sense, especially in a society like Jamaica, where, number one, we don't have enough police officers. We don't have any camera systems set up in every neighborhood. Because what the government was thinking about is putting cameras on police officers. You want to police the police, but you do not want to police the criminals. Or you do not want to police the country in general. What I say is police the criminal first, police the country and the criminals, then you can police the police. When we have murder to a tolerable rate, and criminal activities to a tolerable rate or none at all, then you can police the police, put cameras on the police. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think the police officers in Jamaica, the good police officers in Jamaica, has anything to hide as it relates to that. Now, as it relates to the Federation and the government and the Commissioner of Police, there's no headway. No matter how the chairman talks or speaks, nobody's answering. And trust me, you could go to 10 million courts. This will be this deja vu, like the water cycle. The same thing all over again. The same thing all over again, no matter what. The government is going to give us what they feel is relevant for the police, which is working in deplorable conditions, working without equipments and working without a proper salary. So police can go live in a Riverton City and Callaloo Bed and all these places. Not saying that good people do not live in those places. No disrespect to Riverton City or Callaloo Bed. But these are the neighborhoods that a policeman's salary can afford at this stage. Because if you live somewhere else, then God help you. After you pay your mortgage and your car payment and everything else, there's nothing left. So, I would not say the Federation is beating a dead horse. But from time to time, this is what has been happening. A chairman comes out and he makes a lot of noises. Yes, he meant good in the beginning. He means well. But the government is the government. And no matter how a federation chairman beat the iron, the government is going to give the police or whosoever else, teachers, soldiers, nurses, doctors, the government is going to give us what they feel. But the thing is, they don't value the police, so they give the police the worst. 4%? How much is that of a policeman's salary? That is what the government keeps on giving us, 3% and 4%, never anything in double figures. And they are going to draw out this whole salary thing for years. They are going to say the budget is in deficit and that they cannot afford to pay police what is owed to police at this point in time. But you know what? They can afford to buy them sweetheart car and put them in our apartments. So that is the misappropriation of government funds. It is not for the police, it's not for the teachers or the nurses or the doctors or the firemen. It is for their own. All the parties in Jamaica are the parties in Jamaica are the same thing. They fill their pockets out of taxpayers' money. None goes towards the benefit of the country or the people in the country. And like I've been saying over and over and over on all my videos, if you do not treat the police well in your country, if you do not equip the police well in any country, then crime and violence is going to take hold of that country. And once a country has so much crime and violence that even the United States can say bar Jamaica as being a criminal destination, that means people not supposed to go to Jamaica because of the crime. The other day, it was not about the COVID alone. It was also about criminal activities in Kingston and Montego Bay and other parts of Jamaica. So Jamaica is now labeled as one of the worst destinations to travel to. Not that anybody else care, not that our leaders care. They don't. If our leaders cared, they would have been taking care of the police. Because the police is the one that is carrying the country on our shoulders. Without police officers, they cannot be a civilized society. Without police officers, there's no rule of law. And if you, as a Prime Minister, Sir Andrew Holness, a young man, who I would have thought would have done better by now, and would have known that old-time politics don't work anymore. You're trying to adapt all the policies of every other country, but not the policy as it relates to paying your police properly and cause your police force to be well equipped to handle the crime situation in Jamaica. You are not doing that, Mr. Prime Minister, because you do not care. It is not your family that is being murdered. It's people from the garrison communities' families are being murdered. It's policemen families are being murdered, including policemen. How many policemen have been murdered since the start of the year? I bet you don't even know. That if the commissioner even remembered. Because here it is that the chairman of the federation is talking a whole lot of stuff in relation to police. And I've never heard the commissioner came out and shout out any disgust with the government. What? You can't talk to your boss publicly? Who do you serve? Do you serve the Prime Minister, or do you serve the people of Jamaica? Or do you serve the men who are under your command? That is the question I'm asking the commissioner of police. What, you can't open your mouth and say nothing? I say you're afraid of the man? Or the man control you? I thought you came into the office with your own crime purview, with your own crime plan that he's supposed to listen to. Because the Prime Minister is not a police, you know. You're supposed to be the police because you're the commissioner of police. It's not the Prime Minister supposed to give you a crime plan. It is you supposed to give the Prime Minister your crime plan. So, the tail walk the dog, as far as I'm concerned, even though the Prime Minister is your boss, but he's not the police, you are. So therefore, you are the one who's supposed to set up your crime plan and make it work. And if it's not working, then you go back to the drawing board and you make it work. You have a whole lot of degree heads around you. Make it work. Use the degree heads them. It appears as if the degree that they have can't work for you. That is what I cannot understand. The commissioner of police in all of this war and speeches and everything, this crying out for help for the police. The commissioner of police is not saying nothing. And he's a police also. That means if your bread butter two side, you have more salary than you can think about. So you don't even have time to think about the little constable, a little sergeant, and a little man who don't live now because his salary no good. And if you can live somewhere properly, then your salary finish. If you can drive a good car, your salary done. You can't even send your kids to school. And in all of this, police, fellow police officers, I'm going to implore on you today. You have been paying the housing trust for a while out of your salary. I'm asking all you members to check with the housing trust if your benefits are being sent over to the housing trust. Ensure that your benefits are sent over to the housing trust, because in the past few weeks you have spoken to someone who and a police officer who wanted to buy a house, and when he went to the housing trust, he had no money there for him. His money was not sent to the National Housing Trust. And when he went to the ministry, it was said that the money was sent to the housing trust, but yet the housing trust could not account for his money because the housing trust had no money for him. The money was not sent to housing trust even though it was taken from his salary. That's the thing. So members, please, even if you're not buying a house, go to the housing trust and find out if your benefits are being paid. Please, I'm asking you, find out if your benefits are being paid. That's what I'm asking you. Now back to the matter at hand. It has been happening for years now. Police officers have been buying themselves uniform. They has been buying themselves uniform for years. This is not the first. If you wanted good denims to wear, you had to buy it out of your own pocket. And yet still, after you resign from the job, they want money for button. They want money for everything. In the same breath, all you police officers who have retired from the Jamaica Constabulary Force and not yet received your monies, you need to apply for your money if you haven't received it. Apply for all benefits to be paid over to you. Apply for all benefits to be paid over to you. I'm working on something right now. Everybody who needs to see how the application is to be done, and I can give you a copy of how to do the application. If you need this, link me up on WhatsApp 203-427-7734. I can tell you how to make the application for your funds. Even though it might take some time, because a fellow colleague, it took him 3 years to get the money after he resigned from the job. And after going back to Jamaica for 3 years, 3 times, going back to Jamaica for 3 times in order to get that money. And at the end of the day, all he get was like $185,000. So all of the money was already done by traveling to Jamaica 3 times to go to the admin to ask for the money. So it wasn't worth it. So that is for the most part. So if you wanted a little bit of money, well, you will have to come to Jamaica if you're not living in Jamaica anymore and visit the admin from time to time, maybe 2-3 times, in order to get that money. We are hoping that we can find some way that some light can be shed on the whole thing, that when you retire you can get your money within a certain amount of time without being having to come to Jamaica so often. That is one of the things that the chairman of the federation needs to deal with. And some of us who are listening to this, if you're listening to this video and have any link with the chairman of the federation, please pass this on to him. Members who have retired cannot get their money. Members who were represented by attorneys and paid attorney's fee cannot get the attorney's fee remunerated to them. So everybody needs to help. Help the police that resign, cannot get their money. Help the police that use their money to pay attorneys that they can't get by the attorney's fee. And any police that needs help with the application, I'm working on there's a farmer to it. And I can get the farmer to you in order to apply for your benefits. So link me up. Chairman of the Federation, I think you are doing a good job right now. The speeches are good. I think you are hitting the nail on the head as it relates to everything so far. But my brother, like I said to you before, the government will give police officers what they feel like at the end of the day. And if you go and make nice, I think you probably will get a promotion and be transferred to somewhere else. Because that is what has been happening for years. I hope when that comes, you refuse the promotion and stay at the federation. Because I like the way you're going on. I think your voice is being heard, and I think your voice, it does not only blow a trumpet, but it ring bells. And what you are doing is a good job. You know, I must say, give Caesar what is due to Caesar. You are doing a good job in the way that your speeches and trying to get benefits for police officers. I hope that at the end of the day, we will get some benefits from what you are saying. But I know that the government is not going to give police what you are asking for or what we are asking for. But the government is always going to give police what they feel like. That is the country that we live in. That's Jamaica. The police is not valid. The police is not valid. So therefore, they're going to pay us how they feel we are valid. Nothing. Nothing. Remember, police officers, make a link. I can give you I can tell you how to do the application. All right.